the special meeting and welcome councillors for your attendance. I'll now adjourn the meeting, waiting for papers. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll resume the special meeting at 5:02 PM, I should say. And I'd just like to say Council took the opportunity to finalise the morning's budget submissions and financial planning standing committee meeting and additional briefing prior to resuming this special meeting, hence the time we're starting it. Okay, moving on to, oh no, we've got to actually do conflicts. So we'll do conflicts. Does anyone like to declare anything? Councillor Ladbrook, have you got something there?
Yep. Just read this out.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I, Councillor George Ladbrook, declare that I have a material and personal interest as defined by the Local Government Act 2009, Section 175B, the agenda item C4 of myself, the use of Humphreys Road, in accordance with Section 175C 2B of the Local Government Act 2009. I will leave the room while this matter is being discussed and voted on.
C3.
Sorry, C3.
Okay, any? Okay, now thank you, Councillor Ladbrook. Any others?
I'll just, excuse me, clarify the form. On the back page of the conflict of interest, it's not a conflict of interest merely because membership of a community group, sporting club, or similar organisation, the council is not on the side of the group, club or organisation. That's pretty clear, isn't it? If I'm a member, there's no issue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's leaving the room.
He won't leave now,
Yeah, using the road.
Sorry, I was attending to a matter. Sorry, Councillor.
Sorry. Yeah, just clarification on the.
Sorry. Does anyone own these car keys? I will just let the customer service office.
Is it a nice car?
Toyota.
Thank you.
So, yeah, just on the new forms, the council declarations for conflict of interest. So on the back, it says that if you're a membership of a community group, sporting club, similar organisation, it's not a conflict of interest. Is that correct? It's not. So therefore, you don't have to fill one of these things out.
I can't provide advice, Councillor Edwards. All I've done is provide you the template and you fill that out.
Last week, you amended that.
But when in doubt, you could just declare a perceived conflict and then say.
Okay. I, Councillor Mark Edwards, declare that I have a perceived conflict of interest for agenda item 6.1, subject heading Council representation dash external community committees and arrangements for Council initiated advisory committees. Because I made a of the Roma Hero Club Incorporated. I have determined that this personal interest is not of sufficient significance to lead me to make a decision on the matter. As contrary to public interest, I will best perform my responsibility of serving the overall public interest of the whole of the council area, participating in the discussion and voting on the matter. However, I acknowledge that the remaining councillors must now determine, pursuant to section 175E 4 in brackets of the Local Government Act 2009. I have a real conflict of interest in this matter, or a perceived conflict of interest in this matter, that's A, and B, if so, whether I must leave the meeting while this matter is discussed or voted on, or 2, I may participate in the meeting in relation to the matter, including by voting on the matter.
Okay, would someone like to move on?
What number was that?
6.1.
6.1.
I've got a question. Through you, Mayor. Councillor Edwards, in the report, where does it reference the group you're talking about?
Aero Club User Group, Airport User Group.
No, that's the airport user group. Yeah.
Airport User Group, many name. It's probably mentioned somewhere else in there as well.
Councillor Burkett.
Oh, no, I was just making sure we're the right page.
Also, probably,
They're just the names of the committees.
that's
Okay.
I didn't have that, I was just going to read it.
You have the wording there.
oh, sorry, it's on page 13 as well, Airport User Group there. Sorry, Councillor, I have page 13 as well. It says Airport User Group there.
Just for clarity on that, that airport user group is a council-initiated user group, just for context. Here, John, I'll see you got it.
No, I've got it. Well, you want to do?
No, you're off.
No, I'm doing one myself.
After. Mr Mayor, I'll move that Councillor Edwards has a perceived conflict of interest in the matter, and notwithstanding the conflict, Councillor Edwards may participate in the matter, discuss and vote upon it.
We have a seconder. Councillor McMullen. Anyone wishes to speak? If not, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 8-0. Okay, Councillor Burkett.
Yeah, I've got a similar one for the same one, 6.1. I declare that I have a conflict of interest in this matter on the Mitchell RSL Combined Sports Club. I have a relationship, I'm the chair of that committee. I have determined that personal interest is not sufficient significance that it will lead me to make a decision on the matter that is contrary to public interest. I will best perform my responsibility of serving the overall public interest of the whole of the council area by participating in discussion and voting on this matter. However, I acknowledge that remaining councillors must now determine pursuant to section 175E(4) of the Local Government Act 2009.
Councillor Burkett, did you say you are a committee member?
Yeah, but for this incident, it's not. It's about being on a committee. Like, it's not anything to actually do with the club. I just thought that it's about a representative to be on these committees.
Well, no one can give legal advice, but if you're at all, generally, as far as I understood, if you're on the committee, you'd leave the room. But
Yeah, I just
have
thought.
you had legal advice on that? Or?
I just thought for this actual one, it's just talking about a council representative going to those committee meetings, not making decisions on that. So I could be wrong.
That's up to you. It's your decision. But whereas if you were just a member of a group, you know, then it's a different level.
Well, I can change. I just thought for that incident, because it's not anything to do with the running of the club, it's just an advisory person to attend meetings. I didn't think it'd be a conflict, but I can change that on that.
Well, it's just you're on the side of.
Okay. Can I change that, Kel? Sorry. I declare that I have a conflict of interest in this matter for the Mitchell RSL Combined Sports Club. By relationship, I am the chairman of the organisation. I'll be dealing with this declared conflict of interest while leaving the meeting while this matter is discussed and voted.
Okay, any others, councillors? Okay, we'll keep going with the agenda. Okay, item 5.1. Proposal to repeal resolution GM 02.2020/71, road upgrade to 4 grid approaches, Womble Bank Gap Road, Mount Moffat Road. We have a mover, councillor McMullen.
Mr Mayor, I move that council repeal resolution number GM-02-2020-71 that stated that council 1, undertake removal of existing double grids and installation of double grids at Chaney's 44.140 on Womble Bank Gap Road to the existing road level, including maintenance works on the grid approaches for rideability in accordance with grids and gauge policy and council standard works practice. 2, undertake removal of single grids and replace with double grids at Chaney's 4.980 on Mount Moffat Road, grid 2, Chaney's 25.360 on Mount Moffat Road, grid 3, and Chaney's 19 on Mount Moffat Road, grid 4, to the existing road level, including maintenance works to the grid approaches for rideability, widening of the shoulders to accommodate the installation of the double grids in accordance with grids and gauge policy and council standard works practice. 3, undertake maintenance works of road drainage to remove ponding of water at all replacement grids, entry and exit points in conjunction with local landholder knowledge, and seek written approval from the applicants for any drainage works and erosion control that may encroach on their private land. 4, advise the applicants to remove and reinstate any fencing and gates to accommodate the installation of the grids and required side tracks at their own cost. 5, advise the applicants to respond in writing to the approval of their approval to the delivery and scope of works. 6, advise the applicants that delivery will be in conjunction with other works are programmed for these roads as per the grid and gauge policy.
We have a seconder. Councillor Burkett first. Second that. Any opposition to the motion? Does the mayor wish to speak to the motion?
Mr Mayor, I'd just like to say this has just been brought about so the landowners can renegotiate with council staff here.
Speaking about that, did you have something on the end about, is there anything?
No, that's
Just happy to
Just
leave
leave
the
it.
same way it is, okay?
I just have a question.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Through you to the officer, I just was going to ask, Cameron, is there anything, as this is a repeal from a recommendation or a resolution that was in previous term of council, is there anything, any background here that we should know about that by moving this recommendation, is there going to be anything we should know about helps make that decision?
Through you, Mr Mayor, Councillor Hancock, not at this stage, Council re-engaged with the applicant to discuss the resolution on the matter, which just this will be sort out to just follow up what discussed with the residents to their initial outcome, what they're initially hoping to get, and we'll bring the matter back to council.
Agreed. Then scheduled for next week.
Thank you.
Okay, no other questions? Does anyone wish to speak to or for or against the motion? Okay, we're going to go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Item 5.2, proposal to amend resolution number PE 04.2020/02, setting of meeting dates and times. I propose to amend the resolution as follows. Amendments underlined that council adopt the initial ordinary meeting schedule of the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of each month, and for the meeting dates from the 22nd of April 2020 to the 23rd of September 2020 inclusive, commence the meeting at 9 AM at the council's Roma Administration Office or Centre. Next point is council conduct a 6-month trial on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of each month, commencing on the 14th of October, meeting date, with the meeting commencing at 6:30 p.m. and finishing no later than 10:30 p.m. For the trial, council hold ordinary council meetings on a rotational basis for the first meeting of each month, starting in Mitchell, then Surat, then Yulbar, and then Injune. All meetings be held at existing council buildings in each area. Council foreshadow the intention is to retain the 2nd and 4th Wednesday as an ordinary meeting schedule. It is just the time and location that may change in the future, having regard to the outcome of the trial. The next point, the Mayor issue a letter of invitation to residents that will be posted at least 2 weeks in advance with an RSVP date, inviting residents in the meeting locality to join council for supper, which will be provided by council at 6 p.m, and inviting them to stay for the meeting if they wish. And the above be subject to compliance with the Chief Health Officer's directions current at the time. We have a seconder.
Mr. Mayor, I now have a conflict because we've used the word posted.
Right.
I'm just wondering if we can change that, because I have something that I want to talk about for the motion. It's just the distribution of the letter.
No, but if that's posted, that can be posted on Facebook. What does that secretly mean?
It's not, it's another example where it's not integral to the resolution. It could just be that Mayor issued a letter of invitation to residents at least 2 weeks in advance.
Okay, so I'm happy to change that to
the Mayor issued a letter
Notified?
of invitation to residents at least 2 weeks in advance, so you're only removing the words that will be posted.
Okay, so we'll, just for clarity, we'll remove that will be posted, and it will be up to the officers how they do that. And with the second of
Well, sorry, just also, would we have the first meeting, would that be the first general ordinary meeting? That should say ordinary, or does it matter?
Sorry, which one is this?
On page 7 for trial council. Oh, it's already there above me, don't worry about that.
So are you happy with, we had you as the seconder, are you happy with removing those three words?
Yes.
Happy with that?
Just thought of another one as well. We haven't updated the code. Is that what you were going to say?
Well, it says the above compliance with the Chief Health Officer.
No, as in, because we're actually in this room, so 9 a.m. at the Council's Roma Administration Centre or Ernest Brock Room at the Roma Cultural Centre.
Or Ernest Brock Room at the Roma Cultural Centre.
As required.
That's right up the top, Kel.
Because once it gets out of
Because we're
code.
not in the chambers at the moment.
So, sorry, what would you like to say there?
So we commence
9
meeting
a.m.
at 9 a.m. at Council's Roma Administration Centre or Ernest Brock Room. In brackets, Roma Cultural Centre. As advertised, Mr. Mayor. So if it changes, we'll just go back to the changes.
Right, I'm happy with that. Is the seconder happy with that?
Yep.
Okay, would anyone like to wish to speak to the motion or against the motion?
I have an amendment.
Please go ahead.
I'd like to move an amendment to point 2 that reads, the council conduct a six-month trial on the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of each month, commencing on the 14th of October 2020, with meetings commencing at 12 p.m. and finishing at 6 p.m.
Okay, do we have any seconder for that amendment? Councillor Hancock, would you like to speak to the amendment?
Thanks very much, Mr. Mayor. Since our post-election meeting where you introduced or foreshadowed a proposed change to the meeting schedule, I've had contact from a number of residents, both in Roma and out, that are supportive of council, one, coming out to the outlying areas and having more accessibility to councillors. But I've had older residents and people that have young families raise concerns with me around the proposed timing. And I've asked them what would they prefer, and the older residents had said something in the middle of the day, and some of the young family, mum and dads, have spoken to me that have an interest in council and are loving the recordings of council, but wouldn't mind an opportunity to engage with council, has suggested that the back end of the day might be a time that they could come to view council right before that witching hour, which I'm learning about, and have an opportunity to see how council interact. So I thought that this would be a compromise. We're still going out into the regions. We're still giving people the opportunity to engage with councillors. We're still giving people the opportunity to have a meal or supper with councillors, and structuring it so it's 12 p.m. through until 6 p.m. It's 6 hours of meeting. It allows staff that are integral to our meetings to be there, but they could leave at 6. The rest of us could stay and engage with the community, have supper with them, but our staff have, if they choose to stay, great. If they don't, that they can get back home, because whilst I've had a number of conversations with community members that are interested in coming to our council meetings, I've equally had community members and staff that don't come to the meetings, but staff in our organisation that have raised real concerns about the finishing time of 10:30 p.m. And the travel that their colleagues would have to do to get back to their residences, largely in Roma, as well as residents raising concerns about travelling at that time of hour, both for the people that are in this room now as councillors, but the staff. So I propose this amendment as a compromise. I think it still ticks all the boxes in terms of community engagement. It condenses the meeting to 6 hours, and it'll give more of our community an opportunity to engage both informally over a meal, but stay for the meeting as well.
Okay, would anyone else wish to speak for or against that amendment?
I guess the only thing I'd have to add, Mr. Mayor, is well, as you know, I've always been concerned about our nighttime meetings and the safety of our staff and us councillors are also conducting business so late into the evening. But the other concern I've had, and I've had a couple of community people say that to me, is so supper's at 6 o'clock, meeting starts at 6:30. Are you going to kick us out and start at 6:30? I know that they're welcome to stay, but I'm concerned that we might not start our meetings at 7 o'clock because we've shortened our time to socialise with our community. Whereas if we finish our meeting at 6 or 6:30, we can choose to stay longer to socialise with our community over supper. So I just wondered if that was a happy medium.
Okay, I'm happy to speak against the amendment. Yeah, I certainly do believe that I won't be supporting this for the reasons that I believe we need to trial this. We have had our meetings in the daytime, they've opened to the public, and we've had very, very little support for the daytime meetings. I do believe this is an opportunity, if people are working, that they have the ability to come in. It would be something that I certainly realise more senior people don't like to be out too late, and hence supper at 6 o'clock. And this is an opportunity for us to have a light supper with the general public, and then I hope they'd like to stay on, but if they don't stay on for the meeting, I understand if they would wish to go home. but this is about council operating locally, and it is only a trial to see, and I believe that it will be a fantastic initiative. I'd also like to say there is generally, except for COVID-19, many other community events that are in the daytime, but this would be one of the few community events that's available for people that work all day. That's a council initiative, and we would still have our daytime meetings, at other times in Roma. So, to me, this is an opportunity to test it, and that's why I won't be supporting the amendment. Okay.
Can I just make one suggestion, Hal, just the first dot point? After centre, could you put in brackets post-COVID-19? No, sorry, not that one, the first one.
Just while that's happening, Mr. Mayor, just a question to you. On the substantive motion, which we're not discussing at the moment, but you just said that there'll be meetings in Roma that are during the day. Is your intention of this only being, the nighttime meetings are only for the communities outside of Roma?
Yes, definitely. That was the idea of.
Sorry, with due respect, that's not reflected in the resolution. It would only be, you'd have to either pick the second or the fourth Wednesday of each month. It would only be one of those if your intention is to do the meeting between 6:30 and 10:30.
Yeah, correct. That's why the first, well, it's sort of, maybe a little bit confusing in there, but the first meeting is to be held out in the region, and the second meeting is to be at a council meeting area here.
Between the hours of 9 to 5, is it? Well, that's not reflected in your resolution.
No, well, that's what I was saying the other day when I said it actually had 2 meetings in it. The feedback was that it's not the case, but yeah, I'm happy to actually change that.
Well, you probably need to finish with the amendment first.
Yeah, that's right. So let's
which
the amendment.
But can I?
Sure.
For consistency, if that is your intent on the substantive resolution, then, and your intent is for the first meeting of the month, then I'd like to amend my amendment that it reflects the first meeting of the month.
Correct. Yep, I'm happy with that.
Otherwise,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Can I just, as a compromise, suggest we're trying to evaluate the success of something that's a proposal, and the suggestion or what's being presented here is to conduct a 6-monthly trial. My suggestion might be to have a 3-monthly trial for the 6:30 till 10:30, and a 3-monthly trial from the 12 p.m. till 6, to then have an understanding or to be able to compare the success or otherwise of the two, to then for future planning or for future determination.
Great. 6 months is a very long time.
So 3 months for one, 3 months for the other, come back and discuss and go, this one really worked, this was the preference that the public seemed to suggest, let's go with this, or have come back with some sort of better understanding of the success of the promotion.
So, Councillor Guthrie, the only problem is you have 4 areas, so it takes 4 months to have one meeting in each area. So 3 months is not actually enough, and obviously 6 months is, you go around again a couple of times.
Could we just do 4 months?
Yeah.
Because that's one.
I was actually going to ask where the 6 months come from, because like 4 months gives us a rotation in each town. 6 months gives 2 other towns the option that the other towns don't have, so 4 months is.
Okay, so I'm happy to make it 4 months. Would you be happy in your amendment? Or
No, that'd be a new, that's a new.
We have to deal with the amendment.
well, no, I can
change
I can change my amendment.
again. Yeah, that's fine.
And
Well, she could make a whole new move.
you can't do an amendment on an amendment formally. You can make the suggestion and I can accept it.
And mine was a suggestion.
And if I rejected it, then we'd have to deal with mine, and then you'd seek another amendment. So I'm happy to do the 4-month it'd end up being an 8-month trial though,
No.
because,
Excuse me, 4 months, I'd go 2 and 2.
No, but
oh, right, I see. Everyone's still getting a taste of having us out there in the regions different times.
yeah, but then some people, then are you going to say the people working that can't attend during the day and at night time, are they still?
Has a plus and a minus.
I'd go 4 and 4.
Both of them do.
So if you're allowing a bit of discussion,
It's still at least.
that what I've proposed, even if you are working, Councillor Burkett, you can still come to the meeting. If you are working up until 5, you can come to the last hour of the meeting and then you can stay for supper. So there is an opportunity for people that are working. That's why I structured it the way that I did, off feedback that I got from the community. So I'm happy, if you were a 4-month trial and it meant that there was, you trialled 2 at the 6:30 to 10:30 and 2 at the 12 until 6, then you've got a real mix of how it worked. All the regional communities still benefit from us being there. They still have access to us. They still have supper. They still can come to the meeting. It's just the 2 different times. That can work.
Okay, so what's your amendment there?
Well, again, if your substantive resolution is 4 months trial, then my amendment would be to do the 12 until 6 for 2 of those meetings, for 2 of those months.
Okay, so you're going 2 in the daytime and 2 at night time, is that correct?
That's what, okay, yep, the substantive, yep.
Okay.
Which you can then, you could accept this amendment. Yeah, or not.
Yeah, no, I'll be speaking against it. Because we've changed it, should we have a bit of discussion about this? Or would you like to speak to your amendment now? Or add anything? Or?
Didn't we have to go to the vote for the first one?
Look, it gets very messy now that I thought we got to a point where you might have compromised in the middle. But I like Councillor Guthrie's suggestion of doing the 2. I just don't know how I'm happy to, my amendment will be that it's for the 4-month trial, that 2 of those meetings will be from the 10:30 to the 6:30 in a location to be chosen, and that the other 2 will be from 12 until 6 at a location to be chosen. I think that covers it.
Yeah, sorry, the first one was 6:30.
6:30 to 10, but you said 10:30 to 6:30.
Oh, sorry, whatever.
6:30 to 10.
6:30 to 10:30.
Are you suggesting, Councillor Neil, that at 12 o'clock, are we having like lunch?
A lunch at
And then
11:30.
supper at 6 p.m.
Correct.
With the community.
11:30.
So that way you would give the community whichever one they prefer.
The bookend, that's right, that's it, yep.
Prefer the lunch or they prefer the supper.
Some may even want both.
Okay, Councillor O'Neill, you won't wish to speak to that
Well,
motion?
then
Add anything?
if you check that the seconder's happy.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah,
Second,
I'm happy with that.
I second.
Oh, that.
We're on the amendment.
Councillor Hancock's seconded that motion. The amendment, I should say.
I've got nothing more to add. I think it's been discussed, so we can go to the vote.
I just want to read that.
Read it.
council conduct a 4-month trial, but 2 of those meetings will be 6:30 to 10:30 at a chosen location, and the other 2 of those meetings will be,
From,
yeah, so it's not lunch, it'll be,
well, from 11:30 a.m. in brackets, to include lunch. Or you could, yeah, sorry, Kel, after 12 p.m. do the same lunch at 11:30 p.m. AM.
We've already got the starting locations in the thing below.
yes, so it goes Mitchell Surratt.
Yeah.
So we can remove the advertised location, I think, as councillor Burke.
Yeah, because we've already got it.
So it's conducted 4-month trial. 2 of those meetings will be 6:30 to 10:30, and the other 2 of the meetings will be at 12 to 6. Lunch at 11:30 and supper at 6:30.
That is my intent.
Okay, so we're talking about the amendment. I'll speak against this amendment. Certainly just believe that we need that. I don't think this amendment's fair because it doesn't allow each of the 4 communities to have a nighttime meeting. And it doesn't even allow them to have a daytime meeting. So I certainly believe after the, if this is not supported, then if the other trial is, we will actually have one in each area to at least test what the community thinks. Okay, does anyone else wish to speak?
Can we still compromise, go back to the 4 and 4 then, and that accommodates everyone having to go at night time, everyone having to go at daytime? Like you're having a meeting then regardless, so at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where we're having it, obviously, so is that another option?
Well, it is, Councillor Burke. I mean, my intent in raising this today was to come up with a compromise, not based on what I want, because if my view hasn't changed, that I think we should be 9 to 5. It's the fact that I've listened to the community that have taken a keen interest in this and have raised some concerns, and I thought the best thing to do was throw it on the table and to come up with a compromise. So if it means we actually do a proper trial, I'm open to the 4 and 4. It just makes it 8 months worth of some uncertainty amongst how we operate. But
anyway, we've got to put something to the amendment.
You could, if this fails, you could put something else up.
Okay, so you're moving that, Councillor O'Neill?
Yeah, and just as the mover, just to sum up, I really do feel that this is an opportunity to give a taste to the community of what the overall intent was to go back out to the regions. It's listening to the community who have raised some reservations, some excitement around having the accessibility as well. And I think if we can get the people that can join us at lunchtime and then stay for part of the meeting, and we get the people that are the mums and dads and people that work at the back end, they can stay for supper or they can choose not to. But there is an opportunity for both sides of the meeting. And I think 6 hours is an appropriate length of a council meeting, given the substantial council meetings we've had since this term of council, and we've got to give it a go.
Okay, well on that note, we're going to go to the vote on this amendment. All those in favour? All those against? Carried 5-4. Okay.
If I could just get you to announce who those were.
Okay, who was in favour? And then...
Sorry, keep your hands up.
Keep.
Okay, so now that is the motion. Would anyone, we've had a mover and a seconder for that, I would imagine, so that would still stay the same. Would anyone wish to speak for this motion?
Can we just carry that?
No, that's.
No,
The amendment, it's an odd thing, the amendment becomes the motion and now the motion has to be put.
Okay, sorry. So we're voting again.
Okay, so is everyone clear what the motion is?
We start from the beginning again, please, Mr. Mayor, the top line. So the Roma meetings are from 9 AM start.
Just clarifying. The council conduct a 4-month trial commencing. The first point is that the council adopt, that one's unchanged. Council conduct a 4-month trial, but 2 of those meetings will be 6:30 to 10:30 PM, and the other 2 of the meetings will be at 12, 1 to 10, 11:30 to 6:30. Do we need the 10 next one?
And we probably need to clarify that it's regional, the regional meetings.
I think it's just saying the same thing, it's just for clarity.
To tighten it, it does need to have that the highlighted part of the resolution as it currently stands relates directly to the first meeting of the month. And you'll need the clarity, Mr. Mayor, that the second meeting of the month, per the previous discussion, is the 9 to 5 meeting in Roma. Or 9 AM to 8:45 or 8 PM.
I was just going to say, councillors, can we suggest that we just commence the meeting?
Yeah, I think that's
at 9
smart,
AM,
yeah.
and then if we happen to finish earlier, that's wonderful, if not, we're not locked into it.
Yeah. Do we need to just copy and paste from 9 AM at council's Roma administration, like that down there, or is that clear enough?
The first bit is staying at
It's
6.
staying as it is.
So we, in Roma is enough, we don't need to say where in Roma.
It's already at the top.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, so that's fine, that covers us through till September,
But where's this trial doesn't start until,
and then conduct a 4-month trial
starting in October.
commencing on the 14th of October 2020.
Was that the 14th of October?
14th of October 2020. those meetings from, commencing 6:30 PM. Your intention, Mr Mayor, that it's no later than 10:30 on those night meetings, won't it? So 10:30 PM, and the other two meetings will be at 12, lunch at 11:30 to no later than 6 PM.
That's councillor O'Neill.
Sorry.
Well, that's right, yeah. I mean, the suburb, you'd still want to start it at 6.
I just want to say that's not in the resolution.
6:30, so we're not.
It would just allow more time for discussion with the community, if you happen to finish at 5.
Oh, by having the no later bit in the end.
But the first one,
Supper at 6:30 then, or just?
Followed by supper.
Yeah, followed by some, I think that's right, yeah.
top one, there's no need supper in there prior to 6:30 PM, they're not going to put supper at 10:30, eh? Two meetings commencing at 6:30 PM, but we would have supper beforehand.
Correct.
Yeah.
Commencing. Yeah, so after 10:30 with supper beforehand,
Would you say 5:30?
with supper at
From.
5:30. From.
So I'm still coming back to the fact that the top resolution finishes on the top point finishes on the 23rd of September. This is what starts on the 14th of October, so we just might need to put where and Roma we're having our meetings. I don't know.
For completeness, I think you're right. So you just copy it as well.
Yeah, thanks, Carl.
Just make the COVID distinction held, if you could, please, there as well, the same as we did at the top. Hopefully COVID will be over.
And then we have that.
So that, sorry, councillor, we don't need that.
Yes. Yes, that's correct. We don't need that.
And then the rest. Then Surat, Kelly, it's the Surat. Starting with Mitchell, then Surat. Then Gilbert, and then Junior.
And then we're changing the word posted.
Yeah, it's gone, isn't it?
It's
It's
gone.
deleted altogether.
Yeah.
Righto, we happy with that?
Yeah.
Righto, would anyone like to speak to this motion? No one wishes to speak?
So can we just confirm it's the same mover and seconder?
Mayor, I got the mayor and Burke, I think.
Yeah,
So what happens when there's an amendment vote? Does that change?
especially one was on one side of the debate, the other was on the other.
So we're still on the,
So the amendment's been accepted.
Yeah.
And now we're voting on the
And
amendment.
And it's the substantive resolution which was moved and seconded. So in essence, they're still the mover and seconder of the resolution, even though it's been amended.
Anyway, let's get on with
so
the
is
debate.
that's your
No, it'll be, well, the substantive resolution is moved by the mayor and seconded by Councillor Burke. You and I moved and you seconded an amendment which has now been supported. That now becomes the resolution which was moved and seconded by the original moved and seconded.
Okay, does anyone want to speak to the motion, for the motion?
I think we
we've talked enough, haven't we?
Yeah, I'll speak against the motion. I certainly don't believe this is a fair trial for the communities. I think we've sort of split it down the middle and ended up with sort of not doing either or. And I certainly won't be supporting this motion. Okay, anyone else wish to speak before we go to the vote? All those in favour? All those against? The same vote, Kel. I can call for a division. Okay, moving on. Item 6.1, council representation, external and community committees and arrangements for council initiated advisory committees. Councillor O'Neill.
I'll move one, that council receive and note the list of external and community committees.
oh, yes.
Councillor Edwards, are you going for this one or is this a different one?
No, we
No,
voted.
we voted.
Oh, that's right, you're staying, correct.
I'll start again, Mr Mayor. I'll move that one, council receive and note the list of external and community committees and council initiated advisory committees in place at the end of the 2016 and 2020 term of council. 2, further consider future arrangements and upcoming council briefing. 3, identify any priority appointments. And 4, appoint Councillor McMullen in an interim basis to the Southwest Regional Waste Group to fulfil an upcoming commitment.
Okay, we have a seconder.
Could I suggest, Councillor O'Neill, that we just remove point 3 because by appointing Councillor McMahon, you will have identified the priority appointment.
I'm happy for that.
I'll second that. Is there any opposition to the motion? Does anyone want to speak to it? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 8-0.
Councillors, this one is one that I would suggest that we hold over and represent at the next ordinary meeting to allow councillors time to review the information.
Mr Mayor, I'll move this lays on the table until the next ordinary meeting of council.
Righto, we'll go to the vote on that. All those in favour? 9-0.
This one, Mr Mayor, this matter will be held over to the 10th of June. The agenda item presented at that meeting.
Okay, we have a mover, councillor O'Neill.
I'll move that this matter be held over to the ordinary meeting on the 10th of June 2020.
Yeah, so is that different to laying it on the table?
It is.
Righto, do we have a seconder for that one? Councillor Ladbrook. Any opposition? No one wishes to speak. We're going to go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Okay, does anyone want to move? We can go into committee.
Do we need to? Do we know they're not?
Does anyone have any questions for the closed session? Okay, C1, Q3 report, progress on implementing the corporate plan and operational plan, including budget review and update on projects up to 31st of May 2020. Councillor McMullen.
Mr Mayor, I move that the Q3 report be received and contents noted.
Councillor
Just
McMullen.
received.
Councillor McMullen, there's the alternative motion if you're happy with it on the screen.
I'm sorry. That the Q3 report and project status updates to 31st of May 2020 be received and contents noted with the revised budget to be referred to next meeting.
Okay, do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Hancock, any opposition to the motion? Does the member wish to speak to the motion? No one else wishes to speak, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0.
Mr Mayor, I could just take a moment to acknowledge the assistance of Cindy through that extensive review process and project update process, as well as Deputy Director Cameron and other directors. As you will appreciate, it's a significant body of work that we hope will help councillors get up to speed with everything that is on council's books at the moment. So I just wanted to acknowledge the extraordinary effort of the team. Thank you. Thank you.
Get that race on
Okay, moving on to C3, addition to the road register.
C2, Mr Mayor.
C2, sorry. Keen. 62, thank you. C2, COVID-19 extended support payments for goods and services. Do we have a mover? Councillor Taylor.
That council assist businesses with cash flow during this time by making authorised payments to council and suppliers of goods and services on a fortnightly basis where possible until the 31st of July 2020.
We have a seconder. Councillor Burkett. Any opposition to the motion? Does the member wish to speak to the motion?
No, I need this time. Cash flow going around a bit here.
Right, no one else wish to speak. We're going to go to the vote. All those in favour? You're in favour, Councillor Ladbrook? Yep, 9-0. Okay, now we're off to C3. Okay, righto. Well, I move we go into close to discuss closed items. So we've got a seconder. Councillor McMullen. All those in favour? 8-0. C3. Addition to the road register extension of Humphreys Road length. Councillor O'Neill.
Mr Mayor, we've extended the title of that to reference the receipt.
Okay. Wording on that.
Slash request to rename Humphreys Road.
Okay, C3, addition to the road register extension of Humphreys Road length and slash request
To rename Humphreys Road.
to rename Humphreys Road.
Mr Mayor, can I ask you that? Should we put that in there?
That was, sorry, that is on the website at the moment,
Oh, okay.
Councillor McMullen.
The renaming?
That just all inclusive, because there was a letter attachment to it at the last minute.
Okay, that's all. I just thought the way we were discussing, we're going to leave that out.
No, just in the heading though,
Okay.
is consistent with the website.
Okay, would someone like to move something?
We'll lay it on the table the next meeting.
Okay, we have a seconder?
You don't need us.
Oh, no, that's right, you don't. Let's go to the vote. All those in favour? 8-0.
On the phone. How many are we
Will
going
we
to do?
deal with C4?
I've got a couple on these next two.
C4.
C4 and then. So I move we go into closed. Do we have a seconder? Councillor McMullen. Councillor Ladbrook, we just had a mover and a second to go into closed.
Yes.
All those in favour? 9-0. Okay, so we're up to
80.
80, thank you. C4, community engagement software.
Mr Allen.
Councillor O'Neill, I think
Right,
was
right,
first.
What were you going to do?
Lay it on the table.
I wasn't going to do it. I will. I'll move that we lay this on the table.
Okay, all those in favour? 9-0.
Just clarify that's until the next meeting.
Until the next meeting, of course, yes.
We have another page number, please.
137.
C5, Queensland Museum Service Level Agreement. I'd like to move that Council authorise the Chief Executive Officer to sign the Queensland Museum Service Level Agreement for Queensland Museum Network. We have a seconder, Councillor Guthrie. Any opposition to the motion? Does anyone wish to speak to the motion? We're going to go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. C6, Big Rig Community Flyer Project Overview. I will move that Council receive the draft Big Rig Project update. Note Councillors' feedback, liaise with the funding bodies and informally with councillors on the updated draft, and 4, be presented with the revised update at the next ordinary meeting. We have a seconder. Councillor Ladbrook. Any opposition to the motion? Does the mover wish to speak to the motion? Does anyone wish to speak? We're going to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. C7, cross-council collaboration contract matter. Do we have a mover? Councillor McMullen.
Mr Mayor, I'll move that council endorse the approach.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Burkett, any opposition to the motion? Does anyone wish to speak to the motion? We'll now go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. C8, project allocation for works for Queensland, W4Q, additional code of payment and supplementary drought assistance payment under the Roads to Recovery program. Councillor O'Neill.
I'll move that the committee receive and note the officer's report as presented.
We have a seconder. Councillor Edwards. Any opposition to the motion?
Could we just suggest a report be brought back to the next meeting?
I'm happy to include that as part of the resolution.
Okay, seconder, happy with that? Righto. Anyone wish to speak to it or against? We're going to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0.
Sure.
CEO. Okay, well, yes, we will, thank you for your attendance, councillors, and I'll close the meeting at 7:18 PM.